some of the best advice I have been given. Don't take criticism from people you would never go to for advice. Hello, dear friends. You are listening to English Learning Made Easy, an English podcast especially serving to those who learn English as their second language. This is your host, Sajid Ali Khan. It's great to be with you again. Today, I have brought another interesting topic to be discussed, that is, criticism must be for improvement. Dear friends, there are a lot of people in this world who feel jealous of your success, who do not want you to improve. And those idiots, they just find criticism as a weapon to discourage you. So this episode is just about such people, to differentiate between real critics and those critics who are really appreciating you and who criticize you to improve. So let's get started. The English word criticism is derived from the French word critique, which dates back to at least the 14th century. The word critic and critical existed in the English language from the mid-16th century, and the word criticism first made its appearance in English in the early 17th century. So dear friends, at the very outset, let me clear here one thing that's a big dilemma and a paradox for so many people, that criticism is a bad thing. Of course not. Criticism is not a bad thing. Actually, it's just like showing a mirror to someone. If a person is ugly, so he will look ugly. If a person is beautiful, he will look beautiful. So criticism is, if done on a very honest basis, on a very proper condition, then it's the best thing, because it gives us the real picture of our performance, of our productivity. So dear friends, one thing is very clear: criticism is not a bad thing if it is done with good intention, and that good intention of improvement. Whenever we criticize someone, we must have only one intention in our mind, that this person must improve. There should be no other bad intention of discouraging a person that many idiots they have in this world, who are jealous of the success of others. Actually, it is a review or opinion of a person who might propose it for your further improvement, to give you a competitive edge. Means here, a criticism is a review, it's an opinion. Another person who has witnessed your performance, who has seen your productivity, your caliber, and if he or she finds anything that can be improved, then that person, whatever opinion he proposed, that can be called a criticism. It's a feedback on what you are doing for others. It is actually an opportunity to learn more about your work, your profession, and how to improve your skill to satisfy your customer or audience. Dear friends, there are a lot of professions in this world, and there are a lot of people who criticize in different fields. You will find critics in Bollywood, Hollywood. You will find critics in teaching profession. You will find critics in productivity, in industries, and you will find critics in medical field. There is no place in this world where you will not find critics, because some idiots, they have thought that to criticize others is their birthright. Actually, criticism is not a very simple thing. You need to have a proper knowledge. You need to have a detailed inspection and a detailed knowledge to criticize someone. If you are criticizing someone, means you are advising him to change his way of work or performance, means you must have more caliber, you must have more potentiality and more knowledge than the person you are criticizing to. But the fact is very different, dear friends. The fact is different and very surprising too. To take criticism is very difficult thing for most of the people, because nobody likes to be told that they are wrong. On one side, there are some people who criticize to discourage, and because of such people, the real critics are also in danger, because they are also disliked by common people, because it has become fashion that anybody who will criticize my work will be my enemy. People started thinking like that. So it's very difficult. It's rather, I would say, very difficult to digest the criticism of others, especially of those whom you do not like. Therefore, in the beginning of this episode, I have already read. I will repeat it for you right now, because this is the right occasion to say that word. Don't take criticism from people you would never go to for advice. Means if you don't like the person and you don't go for advice, then don't take the criticism from such person, because there are highly chances that that person will give you a negative remark, a criticism that will discourage you, that will put you in inferior complexity. So, dear friends, it's very difficult to understand the difference between the real critics and the critics who are just trying to play with your emotions, just trying to play with your success, with your hard work, with your efforts. But our intention is to find out. This episode is just devoted for such people who really want to know the difference between the real critics and those who disguise and criticize others and use critics as a weapon for discouraging people. So let's see. It's difficult for any person that nobody would like that I should be said that, oh, you have done something wrong here. So hence many times it is seen that people get angry when somebody criticizes them. They hate people who criticize their work or their performance. Actually, critics are helpers for us to improve our performance or our product. If we want to survive in this competitive world, dear friends, we must take the help of critics to give open-hearted criticism for our business. But if we always think we are right, that whatever I did, I'm right, nobody knows better than me, then this egoistic feeling will put me down. I will never be able to improve my performance, my productivity, and my caliber anywhere. So it's always necessary that we must be ready to accept the criticism from the people. And if anybody think that I'm the right person and I never do mistake, then that person must be living in fool's paradise. It means we deprive ourselves from further improvement, and we do not want our quality or skill to improve. So dear friends, criticism should be constructive. This is very important. And this can be utilized for further enhancement of our quality if it is for improvement. But while replying to critics, we must not lose our temper and must use very polite language. What happens sometimes when any person, even if we know that this person does not like my success, this person hates me, or this person feels that I should never achieve success, and that person is always ready to criticize me whenever chance arises, then I may lose my temper. Okay, it's natural. And at that time, there is an urgent need to control, to have patience, and we must use a polite language. We must avoid getting into an argument with that person, because for the world, he's going to predict that he is our friend and he's criticizing us for improvement, but actually he's not. Instead of that, we must turn our communication into discussion and must try to find the solution of how to resolve the problem. We must ask that person who is criticizing us that, okay, sir, you have proposed these ideas for my project or for my performance. Please dot your I's and cross your T's. Please explain me in detail how to do it. I want to learn some more from you. Then we must never take criticism personally. This is another very important thing, dear friend. Sometimes what happens, we people take criticism very personally, and this is the end of our improvement. Always remember, criticism should not be taken personally. Sometimes, unfortunately, criticism is done by some idiots or jealous for hurting our feelings and for discouraging us. Even then, we must handle it very diplomatically. We should not retaliate with an extreme knee-jerk reaction, or else it may harm our reputation, and that person who did this unfair criticism, he will be very happy, and he will continue to do so in future also. He will just be ready always to criticize you, because you are losing your temper and you are losing your image also, and he will be very happy to see that. So even if you find someone is criticizing to discourage you, to just defame you, even then you have to handle that person very, very diplomatically. So dear friends, it's very clear. Criticism should always be for constructive things, for improvement, which can be converted in both critic and critical recipient, means the person who is criticizing and the person whom is to be criticized, both in a team. If the criticism is a constructive criticism, if it is for improvement, then the person who is criticizing and the person who is being criticized both can work as a team and can lead to a very healthy growth of their business, because here there is no bad intention. So before we conclude, let's have a short recap for handling criticism. The first thing we have discussed: listen attentively whatever is being said. The problem with us is that, dear friend, most of the time we have made up our mind that, oh, so ABC, this person is always criticizing me, just is feeling jealous and this and that. And with these preconceived ideas, we always just don't put our ear to that person. We don't just listen to him carefully. So we shouldn't do that. Sometimes he may be giving you a fair criticism. So we must always listen very attentively to whatever is being said. Then we should assume it's for your improvement. Even if you feel that another person is cheating with you, is criticizing you just to discourage you in front of others, even then you should assume that, oh yes, thank you very much for your criticism. You should just appreciate that person, and you should assume that, okay, your criticism is for improvement and I am very happy with that. Then don't get defensive or start making excuses. Sometimes what happens, we start just argument, we get very, very defensive, and we start making a lot of excuses. Oh, I couldn't do this because of so and so reason. If you would be at my place, would you be able to do this, like that? There are so many questions we start raising, and then that leads to a very big discussion, and then after that it converts into an argument, and then it may lead to a further disastrous situation. So we have to control this. Then don't take it personally. This is very important, dear friend. Don't never take personally to any criticism. Then we should say thank to the critic, because the critic is observing, he is just going into the depth of that thing, and then only is coming up with some good suggestions and advices. So we should always say thank and appreciate the critics. So dear friends, I hope you enjoyed it. In a nutshell, I would like to conclude by saying that criticism is a mirror. If we find ourselves very shabby, then there is a need to improve ourselves instead of criticizing the mirror. So we don't have to criticize mirror. Mirror here, I mean the person who is criticizing. And that person must be having a good intention. And we should try to avoid those people who criticize us with bad intention. So I hope you enjoyed this topic, and please subscribe to my channel if you like it. Share with your friends and relatives, and do take care. Stay at home, stay safe, and please pray to God to eradicate this pandemic as soon as possible from our beautiful world. Thank you very much for listening. God bless you all. Bye bye.